Alright, I'll go ahead and tell the story.
Okay. Well, Derek remember my stepson Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a cow that needed to get in. She was, I think it's okay, Dan. She got away from him. They chased her for a couple of days. So he wanted me to help with it. And so we went out there, and Brennan was horseback, and I was horseback, and we got the cow moving around, and she'd been getting away from him, going in all these places that they couldn't get to her with side-by-sides and the four-wheelers.
Okay.
So she'd never seen a horse before, so we held her out away from all that and had her moving around. Well, then she figured out she couldn't get away from the horses, and so she got a little bit angry, and tried to move her, and then she decided she was going to take off. So I thought, well, I'm going to throw a rope, snag her out here where we could drag her in the trailer. And so
You told her you got the horses out because they couldn't do the rest of it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so right when I was getting ready to throw, she turned around and decided that she was going to run us out of the pasture. So she come running at me, and I had just thrown the rope. Well, that missed her head, but got all kind of tangled up and wadded up around her, and then the rope was across me and kind of on the horn, and then I was kind of pinned in a little bit. Well, then she hit my horse, and torpedoed it in the flank and lifted it up, and it threw me off the side over the top of her, and she kept running, chasing the cow or the horse, hammering on him, and then that scared Brennan's horse. So Brennan's horse was taken off. She was trying to get it shut down, and then I was on the ground, and I sat back up to look, and she turned around and seen me, and she was like, "Oh, you're fresh meat."
Oh, God.
So she lined out, and she come a-running. She was probably 30 yards out there. She just lined right up on
How
me.
big is this cow? 1,200?
Oh, she's probably 1,300 pounds. Yeah. And she was mad. So she come barreling at me, and I'm like, okay, I got nowhere to go. No trees. Just open pasture. And if I get up, she's just going to mainline me. So I just kind of sat back in a ball, and I put my feet forward, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to just kind of bump her in the head or something so she hits me and I'll roll out of the way. But right before they hit you, they'll close their eyes, right when they duck their head.
Okay.
So I waited, and she come right up, and I caught her in the right eye with my left foot, and my other right foot in her, kind of right in her forehead. Yeah, and she hit me and threw me to the side, and then she took off running because she was far enough away from us then. She had this pond that she keeps running to when they tried to get her, and she'd go out in the pond, then they couldn't do nothing. So she's heading back over the hill, and the pond's like probably 3/4 mile away. This is like almost 500-acre pasture, and she's heading over the hill. So then Brennan called Derek. Meanwhile, I'd lost my phone when she rolled me, and so we were looking for that. And luckily, we had that locator deal on Brennan's phone, so we did find the phone off of that because I had it on silent. And then she got Derek over there, and so we decided to go with all three of us and see what we could do. And she ran. We got her shut down before the pond, and then she ran all the way to the north end of the pasture, and the pond was on the south end, and she was trying to just stay in the trees. But with the horses, now they couldn't get in there with their four-wheelers and stuff, but with the horses we could track her everywhere. So then she was really getting mad because we were not going away. So She came back, and then we got her stopped right before the pond, and she was under the trees, and she was in a big old pout there, and you could see her gears turning. But we changed the pattern because now she couldn't get to the pond. She was not liking that. But she wouldn't move. She wouldn't move anywhere. She just stayed under the trees. So I decided to go. I said, well, she hates the horse. So I went over there with the horse, and I'd get about 20 feet from her, and she would charge. So then I would just ride ahead of her enough to where she couldn't quite get to me, and I just kept drawing her out in like 40-foot increments for 4 or 5 of those, to where we get her out to where when we did get her caught, we could get a trailer to her.
So you're getting in front of the horse, and then the cow, and then the cow charges the
I
horse.
antagonize the cow, and then she charges the horse, and I just stay ahead of her.
Oh my God.
And so then we got her quite a ways then, and out where we needed her. But then I realized, I mean, if I rope her, she'd run right back up the rope at the horse. So that wasn't going to work. But Derek had hit her with the 4-wheel, or the big side-by-side, so she kind of respected that thing. So I gave my horse to Brennan, grabbed her rope, and went and got on the side-by-side in the back, and I tied the rope to the front, his push bar up there. And I said, when I rope her, you just start going, you get this thing in reverse and go backwards, and we're going to choke her down. Mm-hmm. So we got up there, and she was just about ready to take the 4-wheeler, or the mule. She was so mad. And she was either thinking about that or leaving, and I just pitched a big old long loop out there, and I got her. He went backwards, and we had her. So we drug her quite a ways. Took a little air out of her, and then I got back on my horse, and then roped the hind feet, and then we rolled her up on her back, and I tied up the hind feet. Derek went, and Brennan got on the head rope then with her horse, and then Derek went back and got his trailer and worked his way back down, backed up there. So then I put another rope, had him put another rope on there on the head in case we lost the other one. Tied one to the back of the trailer with a bunch of slack in it so she could get in the trailer. Run the other rope through the trailer, up through the front, and then Brennan was on the outside, dallied, and she was going to drag her in. So we tried it one time, and it choked her down pretty good. Her eyes rolled back in her head. So, which we weren't too hurt about that.
Now tell her about how you knew to get down that bullfighter thing. Bullfighter thing.
We ended up dragging her in a trailer anyway, so we got that. But Dan's wanting me to tell you about the bullfighter thing. So right before the bull or cow hits, the reason the bullfighters put their hands out is because the bull closes his eyes right when he drops his head. So if they hold their hand there, it causes the bull to close his eyes. And then they can step to the side in that split second. So that's actually what I did with my foot. I mean, when she was coming, I stuck my left foot up to her right eye so she would close her right eye, and then I just held my right foot right there so she hit me. She actually hit both feet, but and I leaned to the left, and she just pinballed me and rolled me like a bowling ball.
Oh my God.
Cowboy bowling ball.
A cowboy bowling ball.
Cowboy bowling.
I tell you, when I got off, and I seen her chasing the horses, and I got off, and then, she come off the horse after she hit it. And when I got up, I sat up and I looked and I go, oh, this ain't gonna be good. Because she turned around and she seen me, and she didn't hesitate.
Do the face. Do the face. He's got this, she's his freaking thing squinched up his face and snorted.
She wrinkled the top of her head, just was a pile of wrinkles, and she was like, she was zoned in. It was like a missile. She goes, oh, I have you locked on target.
Oh my God.
Remember that cartoon? I don't remember what it's Bugs Bunny, but there's the bull, and he got the rifle swallowed.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's shooting. He slams his tail down. He shoots.
Shoots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the face I imagine. So,
Yeah, anyway, I mean, if I'd have stood up at all, she would have just hit me square and busted me all to
Wouldn't be
pieces.
here.
No, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in the hospital.
probably dead.
Probably dead, yeah. She meant business, so. It was a like Dan I said, it was a survival thing. You know, you could only
Yeah.
do what you could do.
God damn it! And what that did is put Dan in the fucking moods. What it did. So I've been giving shit to fuckers all over the place around here. So